Good morning, church family. I am Doug, and I'm the administrative pastor here at FBC at the Village.
And I'm Sarah. I'm the children's minister, and we are happy to welcome you to FBC at the Village this morning. We have a few announcements that we'd like to share with you, so hold on tight, and here they go. Starting with CentriKid Camp. That is coming up next week, July 1st through 3rd, but we have a parent meeting today after church. It's very important that you attend. Your camper can come too. All of our adult leaders need to be there too. We will be going over the schedule. We have a notary here to notarize any forms that you'll need to turn in. All kind of important details right after church today downstairs in the fellowship hall.
And that's because CentriKid Camp is coming up July 1st through the 3rd. That's just around the corner here. Also coming around the corner, we have our Tulsa missions trip that's getting ready to go out. And that's going to be the end of July. But July the 14th at 5 p.m. we have a team meeting for anyone who is interested in going to the Tulsa missions trip. We're going to be doing Backyard Bible Club down there at Tri-Point Baptist Church, and we need to know who is going. We've got to have that. So please email us, give us a call, let us know that you're planning to come. But we do have that team meeting 5 p.m. July 14th.
All right, and then July 18th, that's a Thursday at noon, we have our Rock Widows group. This is for any widows, to have lunch together, talk together, study the Bible together, and laugh together. It's a great time, so you don't want to miss that July 18th.
That's right. And then July 21st, we got a couple things going on. Following the morning service, there's going to be a fellowship, and just please bring a dish to share. Also, that's Can Day, so if you have any non-perishable goods, bring those, set them at door 1, and we'll make sure that those get to Bridgeway Connections. Also that day, we're kicking off our back to school backpack campaign. There's going to be a lot more details coming about that, what you need to put in those backpacks, how we're distributing, all those good things. But that kicks off on July 21st.
That's right, and then July 28th through August 1st, we've been talking about it for a long time, is our Tulsa missions trip. We've been asking you to sign up for that, pray for that, continue those things. Let us know ASAP if you want to be involved in that. It is a great opportunity for us to help another church.
That's right. Folks, we are so glad that you're here this morning with us. We ask now that you would stand and join us in worship.
Good morning. Sure is good to see everybody this morning. Just a couple of things. If you're visiting with us, we don't want you to feel uncomfortable, but we do ask that you try out the Connect card, fill it out, and drop it at the office plate and give us a record of your attendance. It's good to see everybody this morning. Let's shake the hands of at least 3 people we didn't ride to church with this morning.
did for us on the cross means that death doesn't mean anything. We're all alive in him, and we get to live on forever with him because of the price that he paid for us. And I am grateful for it, and that's why I love to sing about it. You were the word at the beginning, one with God, the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you are Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus. Didn't want heaven without us. So Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a wonderful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a wonderful name it is. The name Death could not hold you, the veil torn before you. You silenced the boast of sin and grave. The heavens are roaring, the praise of your glory. For you are raised to life again. You have no rival, you have no equal, now and forever, God you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a powerful name it is. Nothing can stand against. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is. The that you're a powerful God and that your name is the name that we call on to see change in our life, to see things move in our community. And Father, we just thank you for who you are and for what you've done for us. In your name we pray. Amen.
This morning's service is going to be a little bit different because we have a great opportunity for our church, but also for Doug. And I was telling Doug, I was trying to think of a Christian way to say jealous. I couldn't find a way to do it, but I'm extremely jealous of the opportunity that Doug is having this coming week. Is he is not just going, but we are sending him out as a emissary, as a minister of this church, as a representative of us to Uganda. And so one of the things that we get to do, even though I can't physically go this time around, hopefully next year things will be different. And hopefully next year, just so you know, this is open for everybody. We got involved with Raise the Roof a little bit late for the passport process and the other things that went into taking the group with us this year. Doug already had those things in line, and so he's going to go scout it out for us. But next year, you're going to have the opportunity to go with us as well. And Doug's going to be sharing a little bit about that today before he goes. And when he comes back as well, he's going to be sharing about some things that he saw and how we continue prayer for him. But one of the things that we get to do as a church is we get to pray for him. While we are physically not going on this one, we can be praying for Doug, not just to not get sick and these other things, but that God will use him and God will show him things and open his eyes so that we can minister better in Uganda, but also so that we can minister better here. And if we can't bring it home and apply it, then it makes no difference. But Doug is going to share with us this morning some of the prayer requests and how we will be joining with him in prayer over the next coming weeks so that he knows he is not alone, that he is not over there by himself, but he is truly representing us, and he is us to the Africans for these couple weeks as we get involved with Raise the Roof and we look at these trips in the future. Doug does so much for us, by the way, and if you don't know how much he does, most of it is, we'll never get credit for it, but he does so much around here, and I'm so thankful to have him working with me and by my side last 3 years now, almost 4 years, yeah. It's just been great. We think of the same thing, but from completely different standpoints, which is always great. It's sometimes interesting to see how we end up on the same page. But it's neat to see what God is doing in his life, and he'll share a little bit about his trip that's coming up, and then we'll be spending some time praying for him during the service today. Doug?
I'm excited, and I do want to say thank you to the church for the opportunity to go. I've been involved in short-term mission projects stateside, a number of those. I have never been involved in an overseas project. In 2005, I was supposed to go to Uganda to do some water purification project, and that trip fell through at the last minute there. So it's kind of interesting that I get to go back to the place where I was going to be going and doing. So some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing there, I'm just going to share my heart this morning. As far as I really don't have an outline. What you have in your bulletin is what I have for my outline. That's what I gave to Nathan this morning. I said I'm just going to share a little bit from my heart and some of the concerns that I have, some of the things that I'm anticipating, what I'm going to be doing while I'm there. So the first thing, I guess, is let's cover what I'm going to be doing when I'm there, because I've had a lot of people ask me, what are you doing? The first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm on a 2-person team. There's 37 of us going from the United States. Some folks are coming from California, some are from New York. Most of them are from the Tennessee area, but there's 37 people on the team that is going. A good portion of those are on the medical team. There's also a Vacation Bible School team that is going to be doing Vacation Bible School for approximately 2,200 students each day. How's that sound, Sarah? 2,200 students, and with all volunteers and different things coming in from stateside. So that's a big project. The health initiative, again, the medical team that's going, they will see approximately between 3,000 and 4,000 health cases in 1 week. John David, how's that sound? Yeah, he's already having heart palpitations there. And the medical needs that they're going to be seeing is anything from a cold or just something fairly minor to pretty major. They also do dental, and they're doing eye checks, and they're doing different things, all complete health initiative. One of the things that they're really working on in that health initiative is sanitation, just keeping your hands clean, washing your hands, and drinking good water as opposed to whatever water they can find. Water is a major concern there. Malaria is everywhere, and it's a lot of that from mosquitoes, but a lot of that from the water and the different things. You have the different diseases that are born in the water. So that's part of the health initiative. They have a construction team that's going to be doing some construction, and most of the construction that they're going to be doing is not buildings, but tables and chairs and desks for the students. The desks that the students need, if you buy desks and have them shipped to there, is very expensive. So they can buy the raw material and locally, and they put the desks together for the students, and tables and chairs that are needed. So that's the carpentry. That's the construction team. Caleb, there you go. Next year, tables, chairs. I know he knows how to do tables. So that'll be an interesting thing there. I'm part of a 2-person team, and my team is called the leadership team. What I'm going to be doing basically is meeting with a group of pastors. There's approximately 76 pastors that are going to be coming in from all over in that region. And we're going to be doing a leadership conference for them. That group will be divided up into 2 groups. And I don't know the size of it yet. We don't know until we get there. But we know we have about 76 that are registered right now. Half of that group is new pastors who are looking to start a church, who have never pastored, never done anything, and are getting ready to start a church. And then the other half is pastors who are in work right now and wanting to do better with their work. That's the group I'm going to be working with, and I'm going to be teaching a series called Leadership Greatness, and how to develop leaders, how to develop yourself as a leader, but also how to develop others as leaders. We take leadership, we have John Maxwell, we have all sorts of different things, and we have all sorts of resources. And how many of you have, this is just out of curiosity, how many of you have at least got your GED from high school? Raise your hand. Minimum of that. Okay? Most everybody in here, unless you're underneath the age of 18, at least has that. The pastors that are there leading these churches, if they're lucky, they have a 2nd grade education. Most of them have a 1st grade education. Some of them have a 2nd grade education. Now imagine trying to lead a congregation to teach when even learning for yourself is very difficult. And that's where a lot of these pastors are at. So leadership development, they don't have any ideas how to do some of this stuff. So that's what I will be doing, is working with this group of pastors, leadership development. Monday, I'm going to be in one area, and Skip, who is the other team member, the pastor, he's going to be in another area. We're teaching the same thing, we're teaching Monday's material. And on Tuesday, we are going to flip-flop, because we're not going to be at Raise a Roof on Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday, I will flip-flop. I will be where Skip was, and he will be where I was. And we will be teaching the same course that we taught Monday, we'll be teaching that Tuesday. Wednesday, all the pastors and everybody is getting together at Raise the Roof Academy, and then they divide out into the different classes. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll be teaching the individual classes that were there. So that's primarily what I'm going to be doing. The other stuff that I get to do is I get to make some in-home visits. Depending upon some time, I'll be visiting some of the children that our church sponsors. I'll be visiting with some of the local pastors there to see their church and see where they're at and what they're up against there in their field. I'm also, because I do a lot of sound stuff and do all that stuff, they have a beautiful new building, and they've got all the sound equipment that has been purchased, but they have no idea how to install it and how to put it together correctly. So one night, I'm going to be staying up all night long and be up about 40 foot tall from the scaffolding, and we will be installing a sound system all night long. So doesn't that sound fun? I think it'll be great. And so get to install the sound system for them, as well as then teach them that night how to run it for the next day, because the next day is a big celebration. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. Going to be a good time. That's another one of the things that I'll be doing. some of the concerns that I have. And what I would ask you to pray is not just for that schedule, but some of the concerns that I have. And as I was thinking through fears and different things, most of you that know me know the only thing that I can think of that I'm afraid of is needles. I mean, that's it. I just don't like it. And I've been doing really good. I get over shots now. I can do shots and I don't pass out anymore. That's a good thing. Autumn and I were talking this morning, tattoo, I could never do a tattoo. You're talking 45 million shots for a tattoo. I couldn't do that no matter what. There's no way I'm going to volunteer to do that. So that's really the only thing I can think of, and I've already had all those, because I've had to get the immunization, so all that's taken care of. So I started thinking through some other things. What are some other concerns that I have? And I really didn't have it too bad until a couple of weeks ago when I had my spider bite. And from that spider bite, I started thinking about all the little beasties that get you. And if you don't know it, Africa has a lot of little beasties that can get you. Nathan and I were talking, when I come back, I need to continue taking the malaria medication 28 days after I come back. And it's not because I'm going to get it here, it's because when I come back, it will be in my system. It's there. And so the medication 28 days afterwards is to kill all the little beasties that are in me so that they don't hatch and cause other problems. So please pray that the medication is very effective. I don't want those little beasties alive in me. I'm also thinking mosquitoes are a real thing there. And living in Alaska 21 years, mosquitoes don't bother me. I'm okay with mosquitoes. The mosquitoes we have in Alaska were different. They didn't carry all these weird diseases, and they didn't have bot flies that they laid eggs into. And mosquitoes there, they just bit you in Alaska and you swelled up, and that was it. So I don't want bot flies. That's kind of a real concern that I've got. Some of you are gagging because you know what bot flies are. If you don't Google it. It will not be pleasant. But they come from mosquito bites. So that is a concern that I have. I kind of joke about it, but in Alaska, I always said, in Alaska, everything that is going to get you in Alaska, you get to see it coming. You might not be able to stop it, but you get to see it coming. I never saw the spider, and I'm probably not going to see every mosquito that lands on me, and I'm certainly not going to see all the little beasties that are crawling around. So that kind of concerns me. Am I afraid of it? Not really afraid, but please keep that in prayer. My health, while I'm there. Just that we stay healthy. I was talking to Skip, again, who's the other part of the leadership team, last year when they arrived. He was fine when they arrived. That night, he started feeling sick. The next 2 days, he was very, very sick. And so there's all sorts of things. In the airplane for multiple hours, lots of people on the plane. Not everybody flies when they're healthy. So just praying for my health while I'm there would be much appreciated. Good rest. I can go pretty good without sleep. I don't enjoy it, but I can function pretty good. But I do get grouchy if you wake me up rudely in the morning. And I just found out this the other day. The hotel where we're going to be staying at, there's nightclubs right outside the hotel, and they're open till about 3 a.m. So there's a lot of music coming till about 3 o'clock. Yeah, and it's all that kind of techno stuff going. That's right outside the hotel. So they shut that down at 3 a.m. and you think, good, I can sleep now. But at 5 a.m., the Muslims have a temple or a mosque right outside, and they blare their morning prayers at 5 a.m. through the speaker systems. And so you get about an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep before you get woken up by the Muslim prayers in the morning at 5 a.m. So rest is something, and I already know there'll be one night that I'm not sleeping at all. So rest is something that is a concern. Effective communication. I'm pretty good at communicating. I've communicated for a long time. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy that. I know this curriculum inside and out, what I'm doing, presenting. I know it inside and out. I'm good on that. What I am not good at is I don't know how to speak Ugandan. Now, a lot of the people that are there do speak English, but when they only have a first or second grade education, a lot of them don't speak English. So I will be speaking for the first time through an interpreter. And that'll be interesting for me, because I don't normally say a couple sentences and then pause. And I was asking some questions on this. How does this work? And everybody that I've talked to say you kind of get in a rhythm. The first hour or two it'll be pretty rough, but after that first hour or two, they said you'll fall into rhythm, and the interpreter will fall into rhythm, and so you'll be able to go. But I want to make sure I'm praying that my communication is effective, not just that they hear it and understand what I'm saying, but that it's effective to where they're at. A lot of the things that we look at, leadership in the United States, are very different than what they're looking at there. And yet there's universal truths. And so what I'm praying to communicate are those universal truths. Stamina is listed. It's just going to be a long week. It really is. And the schedule it was printed on your bulletin there. We'll arrive in Tabing, and then we'll travel to Kampala. Travel time is very difficult because it's small roads, crowded roads. I found out it's going to be interesting because as we land, there will be about 30 Uganda people there that will greet us, and then we will have a whole entourage of military and police. And they will escort us down the dirt roads and the back roads and everything else, with lights on, sirens on, and like we're a whole big, the word that he used, emissaries, we're going to be important people as we drive through Uganda. But so we're not too worried about different things, but it'll be interesting having that. And travel is a big thing, just getting from one place to another. Travel to Kampala, and then we'll be meeting with our individual teams, and there are Uganda people on the ground there, Uganda people that we'll be meeting with that are helping organize from that end. Because there's only so much organization. We can do a lot here, but there has to be the field work there. And so these people that have been working and setting this up there on the ground will be meeting with us so that we can come together. Again, I've already talked about nasty bug bites or diseases. I don't want any of those things to follow me home. I don't want any of them there. So at our live group Wednesday night, David and Doris said, yeah, Mary Beth, whenever I come back 28 days, she can stay with them for 28 days while I get rid of all those diseases. I don't want that either. So we're praying for that. So those are the concerns, those are the prayer needs, those are the things that are going to be going on with me. There's a huge soccer that a year ago they had introduced soccer at the Razor Roof Academy, and soccer spread like crazy because it became very popular. So they have about 2,000 students that will be coming in on Wednesday, and they're finishing up a huge soccer tournament with all the different tribes and different things coming in from all over the place. So I'm going to be filming some of that. I'll be taking the drone and Zan will get the drone and get to shoot from above. Pray for that as well, because I have my license to fly the drone, but in Uganda they say no drones are allowed to be imported into the country. They don't want that because they're afraid of you filming some military installations or whatever for security. So I wasn't planning to take it. David and them assured me, yes, we can take the drone, we'll be okay. And I said, I can't afford to have this thing confiscated or anything like that. And he says, Doug, look here on my phone. And he pulled up his phone and he says, this person right here, I grew up with him. He's my personal friend. I can call him anytime. This is the president of Uganda. If your drone, if they come and get it, he says, I'll make a call and you'll be okay. So, but in the back of my mind, that's still a concern, because not everybody got the word on that. So that is a concern. Those are the things that are personal to me that I would ask you to pray for me as an individual on. The biggest thing, I guess, the biggest concern is really just the effective communication. That as I'm what I'm giving to them is something that they can, even if it's only a small bit, that they can grab onto, that they can take a hold of and implement and use, so that this time next year, those churches that I was able to minister with and talk with there, that they will have seen some fruits come out of this. It's a long trip, and I don't want it to be wasted. So I want it to be very effective in the communication. That's the big thing personal. Those are the big things personal that I would like to.
And if you will, everybody has a bulletin, right? Hold it up if you got one. If you don't, they're on the back side as you go out. These are your prayer guides for the week. We put everything on there in just a minute. Doug's going to talk about these last two things briefly there, how we can pray for that as well. But everything you mentioned really makes you want to go to Africa, right? There are the things, if nothing else, it will make you greatly appreciate the blessing that America is, how big every small thing is over there. Mosquitoes are carrying AIDS. It's just, when we were in Kenya, they told us that the population was statistically 100% AIDS. Infected, HIV infected, but they didn't care because they died from malaria or something else long before the effects of that. And it was it's hard to wrap your mind around all that. However, God is good. We have great medical facilities here and over there, but you don't want to get sick in Africa. And we're going to pray. And what I'm going to ask you to do, if you can, we're just going to gather around Doug and pray for him. If you can't gather around, that's okay. The same way prayers will reach him in Africa, it'll reach across the auditorium. So if you can't get up here, they'll still make it there. But if you can, we're going to gather around him and just put our hands on him and physically connect with him as well as spiritually. And I just continue to be praying for Doug for these things that he's mentioned. Communication, it really is tough talking to an interpreter. It's not a couple sentences, by the way, it's like a sentence. Depending on your interpreter, but it's a neat experience. And you're also teaching people who didn't even know they were the Old Testament position. So the communication really is difficult just because they're understanding in different ways. So we're going to pray for God that God will just cover up over all those things as he goes. Heavenly Father, we just lift God up to you. And I just thank you for the blessing that he is and for how you brought him here to this church to be personal. And just the service that he has given in such an incredible way. Father, as he goes and you take him to Uganda, we just pray for all these things that he has mentioned, that health, communication, all the other details there that can be such difficulties. We just pray that you would make them smooth, that you would just lay these giants down in front of him, that his time will be exactly what it needs to be, that he will communicate your word, that he will be able to share the great wealth that you have poured into him here, the leadership that you have poured into him, the wisdom that you have poured into him, the truth that you have poured into him, that he would be able to share that and pour that in to these Ugandans, and pour these in to these people who desire it so badly and have so little, that you will just help him to share that and to give as much as he possibly can without any of these hindrances of health or travel or stamina or fatigue, all the things that are going to come in and all the things that he doesn't even know about yet that can creep up and come about. But Father, we just pray that you would go ahead and just lay those things down. That you will just give him a great time. That you will just cover over him, that you will set your angels around about him. Every vehicle he gets in, every building that he steps foot in, every place that he walks in, that you will just cover over him. And just walk with him and be with him. Father, we just pray that you would remind us in the church to constantly pray for him. Even though our times may be different, that you would just bring to our minds moments to be praying for him. Father, we just lift up our feet, shield him, cover over him, bless him, and we look forward to the testimony that he will bring us back. We just lift him up to you. These things. As you make your way back to your seat, Doug is going to continue sharing just a little bit more about something else you can be praying for, which is part of our family involvement with Raise the Roof, and how you can be involved with that. And also, we're going to be praying for our families that are involved in that as well.
So, our involvement with Raise the Roof, we have 8 families who have sponsored 8 different children there. there's more children that can be sponsored. There's a lot more. So if you're interested in sponsoring a child, we have that information. We're more than willing to get that to you and be happy to get that to you. But I will be hopefully able to visit at least a few. I will not, there's no way to visit all 8 families, and I don't have any control of which families I will get to visit. It will all be dependent on time and travel from where I'm at for my conferences. But we do have 8 children. Their names are printed there in the bulletin, as well as our families that are sponsoring. Broussards are sponsoring Christine. The Essex family sponsoring Arnold, Tara, Alan, Vivian. We've got Rebecca by the Roberts family, Lamech by Phyllis, Kasaki by the Smith family. Joe and Janet are sponsoring Dominic, and then Judy Wright is sponsoring Charles. One of the things in preparation for this trip is I got to go over and help pack the gift-a-gallon bags and cards and letters, and I got to go through and we screen, they raise with screens all the letters to make sure that there's no inappropriate information getting to the kids. They don't want personal contact information getting to the kids because it can spread around, and then you end up on, not from the children, but from other adults and other people that are in there, as getting the amount of scams and stuff, emails, and all the different things, the requests for money. They want to make sure that all the requests are appropriate and they come through Raise a Roof. So one of the things I got to do is go help pack and get all these things going. We have 80 bags. Mary Beth got to see the bags. They're large duffel bags about this long, that by there. And each one of them is weighed out exactly 50 pounds. And this is all the material that's going to the kids that are there, that has been raised for the kids. A lot of, I say thousands, I really don't have any idea how many bags, but the gift-a-gallon bags, thousands of these bags. Letters, cards, pictures, all sorts of stuff that we'll be delivering. And each one of those of you that have written your kids and did the gift-a-gallon for your kids, all of your kids will be getting it this week, and every one of them is barcoded so they can get them, and we know which unit to send it to and which adult will get that to make sure that it gets to the child. So it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty exciting thing. Another one of the areas that I'm really excited to see is not just the children or church sponsors, but to see this. But I'm also really excited to see the Forever Homes. They have the first Forever Home completed, and it's going to be opening up the day before we get there. They're going to be moving in the day before we get there. Forever Home, they have a lady who has up to 3 children that have moved into the house. And they have all the orphan children, 18 orphan children. 18 plus 3 is 21. Every day, the lady has 21 children in her home that she is caring for at that point. And so I'm excited to see the Forever Homes and see how that's working. These children now are not living on the street. They now are getting the help. They are now getting all the things they need. I'm excited to see that. But we want to be praying for our children that are sponsored here. We only have 6 of the pictures up there. We're trying to get the other 2 pictures, and we're still working on that. Joe text messaged me the picture the other day of the child that they're sponsoring, but I wasn't able to get that printed before today to get it up on the board. But we are working to get all 8 children on the board that we sponsored, and we're excited about that. But we want to be praying for those children. We want to be praying for their families, and then the ones that are going to be staying in the Forever Homes, we want to be praying for them as well. And it's a pretty exciting thing. It's a very unique opportunity. It's a very unique thing to have this Forever Home there, where these children have a safe place to live up until the time they reach adulthood. And that's a pretty remarkable thing.
The reason we put names on there is not to embarrass you or point you out. But if you can't adopt a child, we perfectly understand that as well. Like I said, there's lots of things going on. But you can be praying for those who have adopted a child or are sponsoring a child. And so we want you to be praying for them as well. So this helps us as a church. Whether you are directly sponsoring a child, be praying for somebody who is, or not, be praying for somebody who is. There are many children who go around, and one of the reasons we love Raise a Roof when they came in is this program right here. Sarah and everything that they do with the kids, raising money, the break program, the Get the Gallon, these are going to real people, and they're going to real kids. And if you go next year, you'll actually get to meet the kid that you're sponsoring. It's not some generic thing that's just on a list that they send it out, and they kind of connect you through, forms and through administrative policy. We are directly connected to these kids and investing directly into their lives, and you get to see that, and you get to be a part of that. And if you go to Africa with us next year, you actually get to meet them and see them and walk with them and see the reality of where they live. But I'm going to ask, if you're here, I know we got some that are out. If you're sponsoring a child and you're here this morning, would you just stand up? Roseanne's here, you can represent your family. Joe's up in the balcony, he's got a hurt foot, we won't make him come down. What I'm going to ask you to do is if, you got to see him, she's on baby duty. But what I'm going to ask you to do is, while we go through this moment right now, is just wherever your heart goes, land on one of these. We also got Judy Wright, who's not here. The Roberts aren't here. I think that's it. But be praying for these families. That's why we put them up on the wall. And the prayer ministry will have that. It'll be in the prayer ministry room as well. Be praying for these kids, but also be praying for their sponsors, that they can keep it up, that it doesn't fall through, that we don't lose track of it, and they fall through the cracks. These are real people. They're real kids. They're real needs, and we're addressing real problems. But it's a small thing to do. It's a great thing to do. And if you want to get involved, talk to Doug. He can get you set up with that. He has a connection for that. And get you into that program really well. This time, let's just pray for these families and for these kids as well, and the many who are going to come after this. Heavenly Father, we just come to you this morning. We just thank you for these families who have adopted kids, the Broussards, the Esseses, Martin, the Roberts, the Sawyers, Smiths, the Thompsons, Judy Wright, and many others who are helping and doing other things as well. Father, we just pray specifically though for these families, that you will just give them the financial resources and continue bringing to the mind the importance of these children, that we don't forget, that they don't fall to the side of the busyness of our American lives, and we forget about these Ugandan lives, but that Father, that we would constantly be reminded of it, and that we would do what we can to help and to serve in that way. Father, if there's anyone here this morning who wants to get involved and wants to sponsor a child, you would move in their life as well and move them to that decision to sponsor a child, and that they would talk to Doug and get that going. But Father, we also pray for these kids. These kids who have so little, and this makes such a difference. We just pray for them. We lift them up. We pray that you would put a special blessing on them as they see Doug, that they would see us as a church, even though we physically are not seeing our kids, that when they see Doug, they would know the reality of who we are, and they would make that connection, and that you would just put a special blessing on him, and the ones that he is able to see. For Christine, for Anald, for Alan, Vivian, for Rebecca, for Lamech, for Kostaki, for Dominic, for Charles, Father, for many unnamed kids. We just lift them up to you. We thank you that there are people that are here involved. We thank you that there are people around the world involved. And Father, we pray that we would never forget that we personally need to be involved in what you are calling us to do and to serve. And that has no country boundaries, that has no distance boundaries. And that we would serve in the best way possible in the way that you called us to do. We lift these kids up to you. We lift these families up to you. We thank you for Raise the Roof and the opportunity it's brought. Thank you for Doug for heading that up and helping to coordinate with that. And we pray again that you would bless him with that. Bless his families. Bless his kids. In Jesus' name we pray.
So the last area that we want to be in prayer for is the country of Uganda in general. How old is the United States? When was our founding date? What year? 1776. 1776. So we've been around for a little while, right? Uganda was founded as and recognized as a nation in 1995. So they're pretty young. Now we were removed from 1776 by a little while. We were not, none of us were here when the Revolutionary War took place. What's that? Yes, none of us were here when the Revolutionary War took place, but there's a lot of people that were alive in 1995 that are in Uganda that remember, and that they were there when it was taken by force. It was not just, oh, we decided to be a nation and everybody agreed and it was all good. It was done by force. So there is a lot of unrest there. There is still unrest. There is still uncertainty. There is still some of this going on within the country. Uganda is interesting. Nathan and I were talking about it this week. Uganda is interesting in that Africa as a continent, all the lines and the borders of the countries are made up because typically the British or the Europeans came along and we made the boundaries for them. In Africa in general, they don't have boundaries, so that they were part of a tribe, and this tribe would move from this region to this region, and this was their area, and if someone was there that they didn't like in their area, they would go to war with them, and the winning person would continue on, and they would do their nomadic thing around, and then they'd come back to their home turf. But this was how they moved, and so it's a movement thing. Uganda is unique in that a lot of these areas that are at war and different things going on, and these people, these tribes were displaced. These displaced tribes, they lost the battles in these territorial wars. They were moved to Uganda. So Uganda has 56 different tribes, recognized tribes that make up the country of Uganda. That's interesting. 56 different tribes that were at one time or another all at war with one another. And there's also about 9 other indigenous communities. And again, all of this was organized and recognized in 1995, but it was even newer than that because it didn't become ratified and become actual policy and become recognized until 2005. English is the official language of Uganda, although Luganda, which is the Ugandan language, is the most widely spoken language in the whole country. Again, 56 different tribes, and most of them have their own dialects. So even communication in Uganda from one area of Uganda to another area is difficult. Racially, like most parts of Africa, Uganda's population is increasingly becoming more diverse, especially considering there's a large increase in Asian population, a lot of European immigrants coming in, and as a result there's several non-African languages that are spoken, that are coming in and more prevalent, including Hindi, French, Arabic, German, and most of those are all centered around areas where there are embassies, and that's kind of a growing area. One of the things that I found really interesting, if we were to define culture and diversity this morning, if we were to define that, it would mean a lot of different things to us. We would talk about race, we would talk about gender, we might even talk about sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, politics, religious affiliation, even denominational affiliations, geographic areas, zip codes, music tastes, individuality. We talk about all sorts of things when we talk about no, that's okay. I thought it was my phone that was going off in the office. So, no, we're good. That's what we would consider cultural and diversity. In Uganda, culture and diversity is more centered around the community. The role that one person has, particularly in that community. It's shaped by the tribe's language, it's shaped by the tribe's culture, it's shaped by the clans, and it's shaped by the customs of that particular tribe in that area. And these tribes, even though it's one nation, there, and all of Uganda, and you got these 56 tribes, the tribes typically stay together. They live in this area. So you might go through one village, and one village speaks this particular language, and then you get to the next village, and it's completely different. And so that's something that I find very interesting. The religious, the traditional, the politics, the academics, and even the economics are very different from village to village. Some of the places, Kampala is bustling, it's a big city. You get just a few miles outside of Kampala, and they don't have vehicles to drive. They don't have. The average family in Uganda makes, the average family, not individual, but the average family in Uganda earns about $2,200 a year. $2,200 a year for an entire family. That's the average. There's not a lot. So as we're praying for Uganda, we want to pray for, after 200 and almost 50 years, the United States, we are still very divided in a lot of things. I'm not trying to get political here, but we're still very divided. There's a lot of tension. Go and if you don't believe that, just watch C-SPAN sometime and watch any debates on the House floor or the Senate floor. And there's some real bad tension there. Imagine that tension just in a short time, and one tribe, okay, you just killed my family's tribe. So there's a lot of tension that is there, that's very real. Also, just to the north, you have the Congo, and the Congo is at civil unrest right now. They're at war right now, just to the north. Not only are they at war, but they also have the Ebola outbreak is right to the north of Uganda. To the west of Uganda, you've got pretty much the lake that's there, but there's Ebola around that northern edge of that as well as creeping down. So these are the things to be praying for Uganda. Political stability, that the rebels will stay to the north and that war will not come back down into Uganda, that the Ebola outbreak stays to the north, and then really that the government of Uganda would become more cohesive and more stable. 56 different tribes. The person who's president right now came out of one tribe, and he is the man right now. But it would not take much for this tribe to say, we no longer recognize you, we want our leader in place, and this is what's taking place up in the Congo right now. And very volatile, very, very interesting. We think our politics are bad. Our politics might be a little divisive, but boy, it's nothing compared to how their whole political system is set up. So be in prayer for the people of Uganda. Be in prayer for Uganda as a whole and as a nation. That they would come together in a way that has never, ever, ever happened in Africa, anywhere in Africa, not just Uganda, but that they would come together.
So to close this portion out, we are going to pray for Uganda. If Uganda sounds somewhat familiar, and Tommy sounds somewhat familiar, you may have heard about it or seen the movie Last King of Scotland. It was about their genocidal dictator, Idi Amin. I don't recommend the movie, but it's a neat historical look at the craziness. He thought he was the King of Scotland in Africa. Killed millions of people. In fact, David's dad, David Hill, was killed by the number one guy on his hit list. And this was a crazy, crazy man. The dictator was. But also the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, made his name at the raid in Tabi at the airport when they had the siege going on there. So if you've heard about it, this is the area it's going on, and that was in 95, which is when they were getting their independence and Idi Amin was being moved out. And Africa is just a different place. Any context you try to put it in American terms or sense or sensibilities won't make sense. It's just different. Be praying for them, and be praying for the African people, and especially the people of Uganda that what we're doing, what little bit we're doing, what Raise the Roof is doing in such a big way makes a difference. And we can hopefully turn some of these things. But to close our service out today, I just want to ask us to bow our heads and lift up Uganda, a people we don't know, a place that many of us have never seen and maybe will never see. But we have the opportunity as God's people to lift up other people that God has created and that God loves, children of God, and lift them up to the Lord. And at least we ask that you as a church, that we as a church would continue to be praying for these folks as we partner with them. Heavenly Father, we just come to you and we thank you for the privilege that you have given us to enter your courts with confidence, to enter your court with boldness. Father, so often we do that with selfish motives. We do that for our own purposes. We do that for the things that we want and to make our good lives here in America better and our problems to go away and all these things, and then legitimate things. And yet you've also given us the privilege and the ability to pray for others. And not just those who live around us, but those that we've never seen, that we've never met. We don't know what they look like. We don't know how they speak. We don't even know how they live other than hearing stories. And yet you have given us the privilege and the power to make a difference in their lives by simply lifting them up in prayer. Father, we just lift them up in prayer to you this morning. We lift the people of Uganda. We lift the people that we are going to come in contact with, that Doug is going to come in contact with, that it would be a way to plant a seed, and those seeds would be watered and tended to by the other people that you will bring in there. Father, we lift up all those workers, all those missionaries that you are going to send, all those servants that you are going to send to make a difference in people's lives so far away. We thank you for giving us that privilege of praying for them. We thank you for giving us the power to make a difference in their lives through your name. And Father, we just pray that you would remind us and that you would keep in the forefronts of our mind, not just for this Sunday and not for just this week coming up, that we would be praying for these people, but that we would truly begin to have a heart for the people of Uganda. That this partnership with the people of Uganda wouldn't be just something that we can give a little money to, or we can be a part of and pat ourselves on the back and say, see, we're good missionaries. But that, Father, it would be something that would become a burden for us in the same way that we have a burden for our community here in the village, that we would have a burden for the community of Uganda and the people of Uganda that you have put in our pathway, that you have brought to our attention, that you sent Raise the Roof here to help bring us into this, and that you have laid it on my heart and Doug's heart, Sarah's heart, when we talk with them, to invest and to be a partner with this ministry and this work that you are doing. We just pray that you would just cover over it, that you would bless all those involved, that you would also help to remind us to be praying and to be in prayer for the people of Uganda. We thank you that you are a God who loves us no matter where we are, no matter what condition we are, no matter how much we have or how little we have, that you are a God who finds a way to get to us. And we thank you that you are using us as a way to get to the people of Uganda with your truth and with your blessings and with the goodness of who you are. And we just give you all the praise and glory for being a good God and for the great things that you're going to do and the great stories and testimonies that Doug is going to come back and share with us. I can't wait to hear what you're doing and what you have planned for us to hear of the work that you're doing. We just thank you, we praise you, and we give you all the glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Well, this time it takes us to our moment we call our Kairos moment. This is a time for you to make the decision you made. I know it's not our normal service. We're challenging you directly and asking you to make these decisions, but nonetheless, God is speaking to your heart, and God is moving you anyway. Be responsible to that. Now David's going to be down here in the front to receive you and help you with that. And our goal is not to give you all the answers, but our goal is to help you find the answers you're looking for. And whatever it is that God is calling you to do, you may not know the answer right here in this moment, but we will get you on the path and we can help you and we can serve you in this way. We'll be praying for the people of Uganda this week. And if nothing else, be praying for Doug as he travels and he goes on this trip as our representative. And I look forward to the great things God is doing. As our musicians make their way back, we'll have our Kairos moment. You respond as God leads your heart this morning.
Go ahead and stand with us. I think it's funny the way that God works, and a lot of you know that I pick music for our church, and I do it a month in advance, and so I picked this song to sing this Sunday when I had no idea what we were talking about. It was just the song God put on my heart. And I want us to sing this song as a prayer over our own lives, as a prayer over Doug's trip, and just to be reminded that Christ is the center. He holds everything together. He's the center of the universe, whether we're here, whether we're in Africa, whether we're moving, whether we're leaving. He is the center of the universe, and our focus should be on Him. So sing with me.
Center
One other thing before we go, since this is a praying service, we have the opportunity to pray for another one of our new members, but the person's also leaving us. We don't always get to sense out on our own accord, but God moves us. What we want to do, many of you in Matt's own having Christian Gammons is here, their son, and he's excited to be here. This is his church, and he got so excited. First time they came, he said, "I'm going to go back to my church next week." And it excites me when people sense that and want to be here for those reasons, regardless of the age. And Crystal was a teacher with Jennifer at Stanford Montessori or what. And she is moving to West Tennessee, be back with her family. Just been through a lot. To get into all the details, but life has been rough here last couple of years. And but it's also neat to see how God is working in that. We just want to pray for her as she moves, that she will find a church that will love on her and wrap her arms around her, and that no matter where she is, that we're praying for her, and that we as a church will continue to pray for her. So I'll just ask for a closing prayer. We'll do the offertory. It'll be our offertory prayer as well. Do the offering right after this. But if you can, just get it around Crystal and your boy, and we're going to pray for you guys as we see y'all out. But you want to. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for some great people into our lives. Lord, I know what great teachers my son would have. Let it be our church to be a part here. It's a blessing to be with them. It's a blessing to be with them. Father, we also don't always have to say when we move us and take us into places. We just pray that you would cover our Father, you would take all the things which you did for Rob. Hardships that you've gone through, keep us privileged and blessed for them. And you just make this a great time of transition for our life. We pray for the church, God, the people that will wrap her arms around her, her family, the talent they move to, her family that they do there, that you just bless them and make us a wonderful home. You give, you take away, but we are thankful that you are with us no matter where we are, no matter what circumstances we're in. We thank you. And we pray that you bless us as you send your food and for us to do it. And that she will be effective in sharing the gospel, as big as she is in that place. We thank you and we praise you and we give you all the praise. Amen.
God is faithful, as we heard this morning.